Okay, my iPhone ran out of storage space. Fun. So hopefully I can splice this video together with the one I just ended. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about probably just if I was going to collect these, I would want to get the strong 9s. I wish I remembered what I was saying. Anyway, we're just going to go right on to the next card. Oops. Here we go. My Neo Genesis Lugia here got a 7.5 with some hilarious subgrades here. 2 9.5s, a 9, and then a 6.5, which is about what I expected. I mean, the surface has a lot of scratches on the hollow, but that's not the main issue. The issue is, again, that indent thing on the surface of the back is just that. I mean, that's just straight up damage to the card. So I think, honestly, a 6.5 is pretty generous. I didn't know how they were going to handle this one. And it's an interesting card. I mean, it's a 7.5, but again, the subgrades show what's really going on here as a much more accurate representation of this card's condition, because it's a really good-looking card, except for scratches on the hollow, which, I mean, you know, Neo Lugia, okay, that's normal. But then that thing on the back is really what is characterizing this here. So 7.5 on him. I am surprised about this Pichu. This got a 9. I was thinking like an 8 or 8.5 because, I mean, there's a very obvious scratch. Let's see if I can catch it here. Yeah, look at that. Big ol' scratch. A lot of scratches. A lot of little light ones, vertical ones. But they still gave it a 9 overall. Very surprised, very pleased, because, I mean, this is one of my favorite Neo cards. It's one of my favorite cards ever, overall. Excuse me, I had something in my throat. But, yeah, I mean, 3 9s and a 9.5, that's a pretty solid 9. Happy about that. This one I am not so happy about. My Revelation Celebi, well, the grades I'm happy about, right? Got a 9. Again, sort of like the Pichu, I thought this would get like an 8.5. This is the hollow bleed version. You can kind of see it in the light there. Got a little swirl. However, that is a hair trapped in the slab. How fun. I contacted CGC. I sent them an email just saying, hey, I have a slab with a hair in it. I don't know if I can reholder this with you. You know, am I going to get charged for that? What's going on? So we'll see what they say. I mean, it's a really nice card. It's my only hollow bleed version of this card that I have. I wish I could just keep it like this, but I mean, I don't really want to keep it with a hair in the slab, and I definitely wouldn't sell it with a hair in the slab. So hopefully we can get that sorted out. Boom. Talk about a hollow bleed. This thing is an explosion of color. Just amazing. 8.5. Again, I was expecting lower. I really thought this would get like an 8 or 7.5. I mean, look at all those scratches on the surface. Look at that. That's a lot of scratches. And they gave that an 8.5 surface, which I'll be honest, I think that's a little too high. I mean, I disagree. I think this should have gotten lower on the surface for sure. Look at all that. I mean, the hollow bleed versions of these, they scratch easier, for one thing. I mean, 8.5 edges, that makes sense. There was definitely somewhere like that border right there has got some whitening on the corners, you know, like that all makes sense. And yeah, okay, the centering's good. But an 8.5 on the surface, that surprised me. It's gorgeous though, so I'm not gonna complain. Mischievous here. Also got an 8.5. Got an even lower surface grade than Houndoom. Like, really? Maybe there's more to the surface. And I really should have drank a glass of water or something. You know, maybe I'm focusing too much on the hollow aspect of these cards. Like, yes, you can see there's some vertical scratches there. But that Houndoom had so many more scratches than this Mischievous does. So maybe, maybe there's some surface wear on the back that I'm just not seeing, or maybe they are catching something else going on with the surface of this card outside of the holo to give this a lower surface grade than that Houndoom. Either way, it's a bleed, it's gorgeous, and I love it. My Destiny Ampharos actually did a little worse than I thought. I was hoping for a 9. Honestly, I probably would have hoped for a 9.5. Now I can kind of see how naive that was. Like, looking at the back, maybe sometimes I deceive myself when I look at a card and I see a really strong back. I think, oh wow, that card's going to grade so well, but not always. Like, there's a little bit of whitening in that corner. Not much. But, obviously there's something going on, probably in the holo again, scratches, to give that an 8.5 surface, and then just 9s across the board on everything else. Gives it a 9 overall, and I guess you would say this is a bit of a weaker 9. Like, if corners got an 8.5, this would be an 8.5 overall, I think. So, it's a bit of a weak 9, but 9's a 9, and that's a gorgeous card. My EX Dragon Flygon holo also got a 9. 9.5 on the centering and 9s on everything else. Again, I kind of thought this would do better. I have never graded an EX Dragon card, so maybe I overestimated the condition of these a bit. But I thought this looked really, really solid. Like, when I look at the edges and corners on this on the back, there's a little white dot in that corner, but there's not much to write home about there. So, maybe it's something to do with, like, the lipping on the top there, or I don't know. I guess I overestimated the condition of this, but still, it's a very strong card. It's a solid 9. It's got a 9.5 subgrade. Happy with that. And sort of in tune with that Flygon, my Salamence here also graded a little lower than I was hoping it would. Got an 8.5 overall with 3 8.5 subgrades and then a 9 on the centering. So it's a very solid 8.5, pretty middle of the road, I guess you could say. Man, that's such gorgeous artwork. I wish I had the winter stamped versions of these. But yeah, that looks really good to me. So, I guess I'm just a little out of touch with EX Dragon. I do have a lot of other EX Dragon holos I plan to grade. I'm going to have to very thoroughly review those again. Here we have my Black Star Holo Mew. Got a 9, 3 9s and an 8.5. So again, a bit of a weaker 9, but 9 all the same. I am very happy with this. It is interesting, it sort of reaffirms consistency here on these Mews that I have. I bought a whole bunch of them. I think I mentioned this in another video. I have like 30 of these. I've graded like a dozen or so in the past with PSA, and I got all 9s and 1 8. So condition on these was very consistent with PSA, and I think I'm seeing that here as well, where, it's a very solid middle of the road 9. 3 9s and an 8.5 on the surface. Beautiful card. One of my favorite artworks ever. Talking about a tease, here's my Expedition Mew, the Japanese one. 3 9.5 subgrades, but then an 8.5 on the surface for a 9 overall. What a tease. That gosh darn surface grade. If only, man. If only. This is a stellar card. Just amazing card. And maybe this is also a sign that, yes, new back and probably old back Japanese cards are going to be a little easier on the grading with all those 9.5 subgrades. So beautiful card there, another 9. So that was my standard submission. Then I have my 4 express submission cards here. Got my No Rarity Charizard. Got a 3.5. Pretty funny. I didn't know what to expect on the numbers here. I wasn't really concerned with what the numbers were going to be. Like, it's a no rarity Charizard. It is obviously very played, very beat up. It's beautiful, but it's not in good shape. And again, like, look at how off-center that is, and they gave it an 8 on the centering. Like, this is what constitutes an 8? That's surprising. Like, I guess there's probably a pretty high floor on the centering grade for CGC. Like, they probably wouldn't ever give out, like a 4 on centering. Or I could just be, talking nonsense. But yeah, 3.5, 3.5, 4.5. Like, okay, it's gorgeous. It's got a swirl. It's no rarity. And I love it. Let's put him down there. Then my base unlimited Zard got a 9. Beautiful hollow. Still got that beautiful hollow bleed going on down there. A couple of those other ones that Raichu does too. I didn't show it off. It is a bit of a weaker 9. 98599. But I mean, I am going to take this to the, I was going to say take it to the bank, but I'm not actually selling it. But, I mean, this is beautiful. It's nice to finally have, like, a mint base Charizard. It's sort of like a rite of passage, like I should have one. All I have had up to this point is a PSA 1 from my childhood collection that I graded, just for the fun of it. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's pretty much all you need out of a base Charizard. My first edition Red Cheeks Pikachu got an 8.5. Sort of the opposite of, oh man, this is a weak 9. Again, if I'd gotten a 9 on centering or a 9 on corners, this would be a 9 overall. So it's a very strong 8.5. Centering makes sense. I knew it was really off left to right. Corners getting an 8.5. I wonder if I can catch anything. There's got to be something. I know there's a little bit of whitening on that bottom right one. Maybe it's something to do with the way they're cut or the way they're... Like there's a little bit of lipping on that top right. Like maybe it's that. Either way, this is an awesome card. I'm so glad I own one. 8.5 is an awesome grade. It's a strong 8.5. And he's super round and cute. Oh, I should have put Charizard down here. And then lastly, a home run to take us home. Got a 9.5 on my Charizard EX. 9595995. This is the highest surface grade I got out of everything, is a 9.5 on the surface. And notably, I did not get a single subgrade on anything that was a 10, not even centering. But this guy, I mean, this card just killed it. I knew corners wouldn't be super hot because it's got that white dot in the top right, but evidently that's just about the only thing on this entire card is that top right dot. And CGC looked at this and said, yeah, I mean, you're getting a 9.5 on everything else. Just a beautiful card. I don't know how this would compare to a PSA 10 per se. I know people look at these and say, oh, it's Gem Mint and PSA 10 is Gem Mint. I don't know that this would get a 10 with that corner. I suppose it's possible, and I suppose that, like, this is better insight to, the condition of this card is incredible, except for that corner. So maybe when you see a PSA 10 that has a dot in the corner like that, that's really obvious and makes you think, oh, that shouldn't be a 10. Well, maybe underneath the surface, it's got a lot of, like, 9.5 qualities on everything else. 10 qualities on everything else, I totally accept that this is a 9.5. I know it's a gorgeous card. And I am just thrilled to have one. So there we have it. Most of these are going into my personal collection. There's a few that I have duplicates of that I'll end up putting on eBay. But hopefully, if you watched, hope you enjoyed it. And I'll probably do more of these videos in the future. I've got a bunch more stuff that I plan to grade, a lot of old bag Japanese, some more WotC stuff, some early EX series stuff. So that'll be fun. So more videos to come on those. If you have any feedback, I know this is very kind of off the cuff, unprofessional. I sort of just ramble in these. and I know not many people are even watching, but if you do want to comment any feedback, I'm listening. So yeah, have a good one, guys.